Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. Why is lower down the volume? Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Voice News. We are live from Tapachula, south of the border. For everybody that is watching, this is south of the border. Um, we're still over here. And today I was supposed to be continuing with the caravan. Something happened drastically, and this is for everybody to understand. We're still in the south border. Share the video, like the video, share the video, like the video, share the video, like the video. I'm still here because I'm trying to see the collateral effect of the Donald Trump effect that this has caused. And it is extremely important that I start mentioning what just happened, that I start saying what has happened. And it is extremely important that I start saying what has happened. Let me see. Is my volume okay? Is my volume okay? I can barely hear myself. I think that I don't know if I can hear myself correctly, but is the volume okay of the microphone? Well, let me explain what happened. So immediately, you have this massive caravan that left when elections, on the audacity of the organizers and the audacity of these movements is just incredible. And it's just unbelievable. But on the 5th of November, when elections are going to be done, when elections were going to be effective, on the 5th of November, a caravan left. And you guys know that I have been broadcasting, showing you guys the reality and truth of what's going on over here. But the thing is that on the next day, on the 6th of November, when people started realizing, oh my God, Donald Trump just won the election, what are we going to do? And I started asking migrants, what are they going to do? And this is the information that we gotten. It's really important that you guys understand what is going to happen in the next incoming months. And I'm predicting this. And this has always happened. When I have made a prediction, sadly, sometimes it is not good news, and it has happened. In the next 2 months, in this month of November and then the month of December, and what it takes from January 1st to January 20th, you guys are going to see a massive flow of immigrants arriving to the north borders of Mexico into the south borders of the United States. A massive, massive flow you guys are going to see. All these migrants, they're going to try to make a run for it and going to try to make it. The instability that this has caused, it is enormous. You have thousands of migrants waiting in central parts of Mexico with the CBP app, this app that it was created by Alejandro Mayorkas and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. You got thousands waiting over here in the south border. I broadcast to you guys how many thousands they're leaving on Mondays and on Tuesdays over here in the Commission of Refugees in Tapachula. They're leaving between 1,200 to 1,500 per day. So you're talking about thousands now, plus the thousands that they're walking in a caravan, plus the thousands that are waiting on the central parts of Mexico, plus the thousands that are waiting on the borders that connect to the United States. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of people that they're waiting for the opportunity, the CBP1 app to be confirmed and for them to be acknowledged by an immigration court, be released, and come back in 70,000 years to see if your case is okay. This is unbelievable. It's crazy, ludicrous. But as crazy as it sounds, the migrants started realizing on this caravan and, around this epicenter of a bottleneck, they started realizing that, oh my God, what is going to happen to us now that Donald Trump is going to remove basically the CBP1 app? What it's going to happen to us? A lot of the migrants have decided to say, you know what? I'm going to try to make it. I'm going. And if I go, and if they say no, well, the next thing is I have asked migrants, are you going to cross illegally? And they have said yes. Other ones, they have said, nobody's going to stop me from my dream to be in the United States of America. Nobody. That meaning not even a president. It is going to stop the ideas of some migrants. The idea, the ideology. This is a normalization conduct of illicit activity that it has been created and polluted our Hispanic and Latino people by the Democratic Party, by nobody else. The Democratic Party just polluted our Hispanic and Latino people to make us understand that illicit activities and irregular activities, it is okay. This is the massive flow that I documented, and this is the massive flow that we were walking with this caravan. This will be my 12th caravan walking. Out of the 12 caravans walking and documenting, 11 of them were under the Biden administration. All 11 of them. All 11 of them. I'm going to try to... This is a horrible comment. And I would like for people to screenshot this comment. And I will expose this this profile. Basically, this profile is calling for the assassination of the President of the United States of America. These are the sick people. These are the sick and mental illness people. This is what America suffers right now, this mental illness. Let me pause my video and I will go back. This is aggravating, and this is why I'm stopping and putting attention to this comment, because this comment I'm going to screenshot and expose it all on my platforms. This is the people that want to get Donald Trump assassinated, and there's no shame on these people. Good Lord, man. May the Lord Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, forgive you to your sins, man. If you can screenshot that and you can send it to my message, I would greatly appreciate it. And let me just put this guy on a profound timeout. It's unbelievable. These individuals, sometimes they're incredible. Let's go back to the comment. So there's going to be a massive flow that is going to be up. This caravan started on the November 5th when elections were being done, man. So what has happened? So I started walking, started documenting, like always, showing the reality to people in the world, walking with migrants, asking them, what are your perceptions of, if Donald Trump wins? At this particular point in juncture, it was 6 o'clock in the morning. We did not know who was going to win. A lot of them, they had their hopes up that, Kamala Harris was going to win. Inevitably, that was their number one perception. Kamala Harris is going to win. There's no chance that Donald Trump is going to win. And all of a sudden, you have this circumstance of a situation. All of a sudden, you have this circumstance of a situation which it is the change drastically to Donald Trump won. And if Donald Trump wins, this is going to basically stop. And they know this. A lot of them, they have turned back and they said, you know what, I'm just going to do the CBP One app. There's no chance of me continue walking. Why am I walking? Why am I walking if I'm going to walk and sacrifice all of this? And when I get there, they're not going to let me in. And a lot of them, they have said, you know what, I'm just going to continue to do my pathway and just basically try to do the CBP One app. Before I move on, buy me a coffee. It is right there, pinned in the chat. If you guys like to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund, buy me a coffee. It is right there. Greatly appreciated, people. I'm trying to reach a goal for myself to go back home and then do some investigative reporting at the border. I cannot do it without you guys. So this is all my video. This is what I have done actually coming down here. So greatly appreciated. The app, it is pinned on YouTube and on Facebook. So this is the massive flow, right? You got this massive flow. By my understanding, the Mexican government let this happen. Why am I saying this? Because the Mexican government knew about the elections. They knew that these caravans were going to be created. And this is before January 5th, before November 5th, the elections. How in the hell it became possible that the Mexican government knew that there were going to be 4 caravans that are going to be created and you're letting them pass? Because they knew that if there was going to be a possibility of Kamala Harris winning, there was going to be, again, the diplomatic agreement to say, you want me to stop this, Democrats, or you want me to continue with this, Democrats? And the Democrats under the Biden-Harris administration, they were like, no, continue with it. We will fund it. How much you need? We need 40 million, 50 million, 70 million. Here you go. Fund it. Continue with it. So they were sending a message. The new administration is basically strategically sending a message to the United States American taxpayer saying, you know what? We're going to continue with this. And let them know, let the new administration know, whether it's Kamala, whether it's Donald Trump. We don't think so because Donald Trump is going to apply the tariff if you continue with this. But if it would have been Kamala, this would have been the message. We need money. So it was just a message for them, So this is the automatic, strategy that they had. Now everything has changed. Everything has changed. So I walked with the Caravan around 25 to 30 kilometers. We walked. First, second day. And now the second day when they realized that basically the administration of Kamala Harris completely failed to come through and become the 47th president, Madame President, Donald Trump became president. And he won the election by a landslide. And let me just say this, disgustingly by a landslide. They have completely annihilated. And you know what? The leftist media, the leftist Hispanic media, they're extremely pissed off. They're mad because they never thought that the Latino vote was going to be the decisive vote for the Republicans. If it wasn't for the Latino vote, Republicans would not won the election. And the Latino vote was so important that they were the decisive vote to the Republicans to win. So give it a like to the video, share the video. Like the video, share the video. We always have this problem asking people to like the video, share the video. I don't know what's going on. And subscribe to the channel if you guys have the time. So now you have, older people thinking, what are they going to do? So this Caravan slowly started decreasing and growing. Why? As the past experience that I have with Caravans, the Caravan continues at the same amount and continues at a fast pace. And what am I saying? A fast pace? A pace that you can say it's moving fastly to every city and to every port of inspection. But this time, it has completely, lost the emotion, and also it has lost not only the emotion but the encouragement to continue. And the encouragement to continue is to say, man, we had a big opportunity and now we're not going to have it. It's gone. Now Donald Trump is going to come into office and is going to completely revert everything that we had. All the facilities that we had is not going to be there anymore. So what are my thoughts that is going to happen? My thought that is going to happen, it is that now I will go back to the Caravan and first and foremost, but what I think that is going to happen is that there's going to be massive protests in the Mexican border. These progressive, mercenary, activist liberals, white liberals, the majority white liberals and Hispanic liberals, they're going to come to Mexico, use the Mexican people and use them as, the Republicans are racist, la this, la that, and they're xenophobic, white supremacists, and all this kind of stuff. So they're going to bring their agenda to our country. Use our country to protest and for their political gain and warfare. Use NGOs, use international organizations. They're going to start doing it. The Mexican government needs to start regulating these kind of situations and arresting these people because they're agitators and they're coming over here to do mercenary activism. They're not coming over here to just fight the good fight. No, they're coming here to basically, if they want somebody like me to get killed, they will do it. So these are mercenary individuals. They need to progressively arrest these people on site. So this is what is going to happen. These international organizations and all these NGOs are going to start protesting, manifesting continuously in the borders before Donald Trump becomes president. ACLU is going to continuously put lawsuits after lawsuits after lawsuits. All these lawyers, they're going to start putting lawsuits. There needs to be a team, formulated a team. For this to happen, the Trump administration, what they need to do, it is to get out of the global compact on migration that is the power of the United Nations under the humanitarian wing. This is where these proxies and these NGOs, they get their power because the United Nations controls the border with this global compact that it says that if you are in the compact, you need to let in immigrants through non-ports of entry or through ports of entry asking for asylum and refugee. This is why you have a massive flow that people just arrive and lift their hands and say asylum without being qualified for asylum, and it is an economical migrant. So you get out of the global compact on migration, you start investigating all these NGOs, stop the funding to these NGOs, federal grants to these NGOs, stop sending these federal grants. And I'm saying why? Because they have made a lot of millions of dollars out of human misery. After you cut the funding to these NGOs and you cut the funding to the United Nations, because the American taxpayer is the one that sends more money to the United Nations. After that, you start investigating these NGOs, and you say this one is legitimate, this one is doing illicit and illegal activity. You prosecute these NGOs and you investigate these NGOs. After you investigate and you prosecute these people, you do an audit. When you do the audit, you will find all the missing puzzle pieces, where the children are, where they're getting their trafficking, where they're getting their strategical geographical strategies to say this is the spot, they're in cahoots with the cartel, how they're doing it. You do all these investigations. You find out the root of the problem. You follow the money, like the Americans say, you follow the money. Then you find the children. Catholic Charities, cut the funding. ACLU, cut the funding. All these NGOs that they're making millions out of human misery, cut their federal grants and cut the funding. That's it. No more funding. You had enough. After that, you give the power to Border Patrol, you give the power to United States Customs, and you start exercising and executing the rule of law. You enter through a non-port of entry, that is illegal entry. You enter to an open border gap, that is illicit entry. You enter to a place that is not a port of entry, that is not a port of entry. You will be returned, and you learn how to do a process correctly through the front door. You start sending a hard message, and also to the trafficker. You start arresting and executing a sentence that is going to send a hard message to the organized crime in Mexico. Also, you if they don't understand, you start applying the tariff. The threat of a tariff was one of the most systematic and most intelligent strategies that has ever been done. Why? Because it's not to make Mexico, and I'm Mexican, to make Mexico kneel down to the policies of the United States. No, it is for the dirty politicians, and it's also for the cartel and the organized crime, for them to understand that they need to do their job, the government. So when you push the wrong button, that is the economy, and you hit them in the pockets, these people are going to start working. This happened under the Trump administration. He put the threat of a tariff on the automobile industry, avocado, and beer, and immediately 15,000 National Guards were deployed, north borders, south borders. Decrease of migration started happening, dismantling caravans started happening, and a lot of illicit and illegal activity was controlled. Operations were being done in the borders. This will cause a collateral effect of effectiveness through the investor and also the businessman that wanted now to invest in the borders, because there was security and there was no kidnapping, there was no cartel activity, there was no killings. So you will have a profitable situation if you put a threat of a tariff. Other than that, Mexican officials and Mexican politicians are dirty. They're going to continue to do their dirty stuff because a lot of millions of pesos receiving out of human misery. That is what it needs to be done immediately. But after I walked for just so many kilometers in the caravan, I gotten sick yesterday. I got sick, a little bit sick with massive headache and massive body pain. Somebody was really sick, and I'm going to show you why I got sick. Where I was walking, you guys seen it from the camera where I was showing on the live feed. I was live with the hot zone with Chuck Holton, my mentor, and I was walking through the middle of the camp. But you guys also saw a live feed where I was walking through the middle of the camp, and it was just hundreds, thousands of people. A lot of these people are sick. They're sick. Basically, they're sick. They're not healthy. And I was walking through the middle of it, and I got a massive headache. I don't know what was it. Possibly it was an infection, a small, I don't know, something, an infection that I had. It caused me a little bit of vomit, body pain, and a lot of, headache and fever. It went away. Today I went to the doctor and I felt better. Situation started getting aggravated. When we got to this migrant camp, that's when I started asking the questions. Like, we already knew that Donald Trump won. What are you going to do now? What are you going to do now that Donald Trump won? This is the epicenter of the next migration. So this is where I was walking. Before I played the video, buy me a coffee. It is pinned in the chat. I will greatly appreciate you guys if you guys help me out, to go to the doctor also and to get back home. So I greatly appreciate it. So this is where they stopped and they started resting. And ultimately, I'm going to play the video for you guys to understand how difficult it is to walk through this kind of place. So you see thousands of people right here. The thing about it is that you have children, you have people living on feces, urine, excrement outside of the dome. This is how it look at night. Look at that. It's amazing video, man. It's just unbelievable video. And you're talking about thousands of people. And I was walking through that. Sadly, I had an infection, and I don't even know where I got it. But it's because I was walking through that. In the middle of all of that, there was some people that they were actually really concerned about what it was going to happen. This that you see right here on screen, it is the disaster of Alejandro Mayorkas. He was the mastermind of the CBP1 app. Him with Kamala Harris. Joe Biden doesn't even know where he was born, so I don't blame him as much because he's a puppet. But the other two, they are to blame for crimes against humanity. So many people are being cheated. These people are being lied to. So many people have died because of their open border policies. So many people have lost their lives because of these open border policies. So many people have lost family members. So many people have lost their children. So many people have lost their mom, had lost their dad. So many people have died in the Darien Gap. So many people have died being trafficked, kidnapped, extortion. So many migrants. And it is incentivized by the open border policies of the Democrats and the Global Compact on Migration that is supposed to be the greatest humanitarian compact and that has ever been existing. That is a complete lie. It is a fallacy. It's a lie. But now you understand that why am I putting this video is where in the hell is he to fix this problem? Where in the hell it is Alejandro Mayorkas? Where in the hell is he? Nowhere to be found. Nobody knows where he's at. Meanwhile, still caravans are being made in the South. And there's going to be thousands. They are going to try to make a run for it. And they're going to try to make it to basically before the 20th of January. They're going to try to make it. They have around 2 months. If you want to make it two months and a half, they have 2 months and a half to make it. So all the CBP1 applicants that they're not getting that call. They're not telling them, oh, you're approved. They're going to try to cross in an irregular fashion through a non-port of entry, through an open border gap, deliver themselves to the authorities and say, you know what, I made it. I'm over here. I made it already. That's the incredible thing about it, that this is a collateral damage. Now the protests are going to come when Donald Trump becomes president. The mass deportations are going to start suing the government. Massive lawsuits of violations against human rights and all these stupidity lawsuits. And this is going to massively increase. It's going to be a huge battle, huge law and order battle. A lot of lawyers are going to be fighting to get money out of the federal government. This is going to be like the ACLU, like all these people. They're going to get money. They're going to be, basically suing the government. They're progressive liberals. They're going to do whatever it takes to make money, as they have made a lot of money through our people, through our immigrants. They have made a lot of money. But this continues. This is the situation which is continuing, man. Aggravated problem. Imagine walking through this. I was walking through this when I was there. And this is it's the only thing is you're walking through people that they're possibly not dangerous, but they're infiltrated people. And what I heard in the last caravan before this one, there was a caravan of around 2,000 people. There was people that they were from the Tren de Aragua gang, infiltrated, walking quietly, acting like they have never committed no sin in their planet. There were individuals from the Tren de Aragua gang in the past caravan infiltrated and walking. I have said this multiple times before when I have documented caravans. There's a lot of bad people infiltrated in caravans, but everybody, the leftists and the progressive, they never talk about that because it's against their agendas, against their narrative. And they're always going to decrease everything. They're going to say like, yeah, there's always bad people. That intends to happen. Like when they say a comment like, oh, illegal crossings has always happened and it's going to continue. Yeah, like trafficking of children has always happened. It's always going to continue. Trafficking of women has always happened. Is always going to continue. Sex trafficking of women and exploiting them in slavery is always happened, but it's going to continue. This stupidity to normalize these illegal conduct, it is only you can find it in the Democrats and in the leftist, progressive, mercenary, activist liberals. These kind of things and this kind of normalization of illicit activity, you only can find it in the left. Always find it in the left. Always justifying the crime. Oh, yeah, that's always happened, but let's try to fix it. Let's try to come together and unite ourselves. And, the stupidity language all the time. And the question is, where is Alejandro Mayorkas? The head chief of Department of Homeland Security. Where is Alejandro Mayorkas? It's just a simple question that I'm asking. Where is he? Is he somewhere to be found? Alejandro Mayorkas needs to be charged with crimes against humanity. And I will dare, and I will be blunt to say that possibly he's not in the country right now. He's safeguarding himself somewhere else that he can possibly become a refugee, because there's clear evidence of his incompetence. And also, not only his incompetence, but his crimes against humanity. This is a mockery what he has made of immigration. It's a mockery what they have made of a situation at every border. It's a mockery to every American citizen. It's a mockery to everybody, man. To use people as political pawns, to use them for their political warfare. This, in my eyes, and from my optic, I have said it multiple times before. I said the Democrats are using immigrants to replace Republicans. That's it. They're going to send them to red states, and they later on reproduce. And when they reproduce, you will have future Democrat voters. The Republican Party in 10 years is going to get, if this continues, if this was going to continue, was going to get completely eradicated and dismantled and overwhelmed by the Democrats, because, Democrats were going to reproduce. And it's just Republicans were going to be overwhelmed every time on the vote. They're going to be 10 to 1 all the time. This happened in Venezuela. This happened, one political party got completely dismantled. Then they bought them off. They bought the opposition off. And that's it. You don't have no opposition. You don't have no right, no left. There's only one decisive political party that is a unity party, and we take decisions for whatever's going to happen. And it's actually what's happening in the United States. A lot of the speculation of a unity party inside of Congress, inside of the Senate, the 30 people that are working inside of your Congress, inside of your Senate, that they're actually just comfortable with their Senate seat or their political seat, and they don't want to be part of no decisive situation which is going to affect them politically, their career, or affect them to get reelected. So, practically what they do is they say, no, I don't want to be a part of it. I agree with both, and, let's dialogue. So you're bouncing the ball from one side to another. You don't take a decision. Basically, you're hiding what is in between your pants and just going away and just turning the blind eye to the situation. And that is actually happening in the United States. This is clearly a strategy to basically overwhelm the Republican Party in the future of 10 to 15 years. But now that you have Donald Trump winning, there's going to be a lot of drastic change. And you're going to have a mass deportation of people that they're really bad people. I'm not talking about the good people. He's not even going to concentrate on that. He's going to concentrate on the ones that they're bad people, criminals, first and foremost, and then later on give the power to ICE to do the proper investigations of the people that they are legitimately a case of asylum and refugee, and the ones that they're not, they're going to have to wait. And there's no other way to understand. They need to understand that they cross illegally through the country, claiming asylum that is not for refugee and asylum, and you're not persecuted, politically, and you're not in danger. If you were in danger, you had possibilities to stay, let's say Panama, you say Costa Rica, let's say Republican Dominican, let's say Mexico, let's say Colombia, let's say all these places, you had a possibility to live there. It's not necessarily that. You have to understand that you have to understand that the United States is the solution for everybody. That's the most incredible in incompetent response that you can find. Oh, the United States is the solution for the world. Yeah. What? No, man. No. If we need their help, we have to become allies for us to understand. So this is an interview. I want you to hear this interview. I want you to hear this interview. Why? Because it is a migrant. It's a migrant from Honduras. And the migrant from Honduras, I ask her, what are your thoughts now that everything has drastically changed? But the one that I want you to listen is the next one that is a Venezuelan migrant. And I want you to listen what his response. It is crazy what he responded to me, because I'm saying like, wow, this is the complications of a normalization of not having a consequence to cross illegally through the country. Listen to this interview. This is a migrant from Honduras. When I ask her, what are you going to do now that Donald Trump is going to remove the CBP-1 app? And then I ask her, so if you don't have a possibility with the CBP-1 app, are you going to cross illegally? And she said, yes. So undeniably and undoubtedly, it doesn't even matter if you have an app or not. This is the reality. Look at this.
Tanta preocupación, pues porque venimos en caravana y caminando con los niños ya no.
I have a lot of preoccupation because we are coming in a caravan and we're walking with the children as we speak right now.
Aguantan llegar allá y que lo vuelvan para atrás a uno.
And to arrive over there and to basically arrive to the borders, and when we arrive to the borders, they're going to return us back. I see it unfair.
No, pues, es bien difícil.
Si no existe la
It's going to be really difficult.
posibilidad de que puedas entrar bajo el CBP-1, intentarás cruzar de manera ilegal hacia los
If there's no possibility that you enter with the CBP-1 app and the only possibility is for you to enter illegally, will you dare yourself to enter illegally?
Estados Unidos.
Pues sí. Es la idea, siempre entrar adentro.
Bueno, yes, well, it's the idea. If I have to enter illegally, I will enter illegally. This is the consequence. This is what the Biden-Harris administration has done. This is what Barack Obama started. To make everybody understand and to make people understand and to use our people to make them understand to cross illegally, it is okay. Why I say this? Because when you bump yourself with migrants in Middle and the Darien Gap, you ask them, so where are you crossing through the United States? And they say the river. Which is the river? The Rio Grande River. So they're understanding that crossing through the river, it is a legal pathway to get to the United States of America. Isn't that crazy? And a lot of them, they say through the desert. And I was like, through the desert? Yeah, through Arizona. I'm like, no, that's not a port of entry. They're like, no, well, my cousin got through there and he's admitted and he's already been released and he's working and is making a lot of money. So when you normalize this conduct, it is a conduct that is just assimilates to the culture. And this is not us. This is not the Latino Hispanic immigrant. The Latino Hispanic immigrant, we know the right pathways. Of course, there's always been smuggling. There's always been trafficking. The cartel is nonstop. It is until nobody puts a stop to it. It is going to continue. But this has exacerbated in so many ways. And in a way that is, you have indoctrinated now the migrant to make them understand that there's no illegality to cross to another country. Isn't it crazy, man? Isn't it crazy? So look at this migrant. This migrant is from Venezuela. And look what he says about, him. If the CBP-1 app, it is going to be removed. What is he going to do also? Look what he says.
La verdad, que sea lo que Dios quiera. Si Él quiere eso, que sea lo posible. Pero
to be honest with you, we rely on whatever God says. If Donald Trump wants to remove the CBP-1 app, God will do the possible thing for him to not to.
Pero nadie le va a quitar la potestad a Dios de uno poder pasar a los Estados Unidos.
But nobody's going to take us away the right to cross to the United States of America. Look, this is an entitlement. And I'm sorry, I'm a pro-migrant myself. This guy was a really nice guy, but you cannot answer it this way. This is a really bad way to answer. And why am I saying this? Because I'm a pro-migrant myself. I believe migration is a human right, but in the human rights, you have laws and you have a process, and you need to obey that law. You need to obey that process. This is an entitlement answer. What he answered was, look, I will turn back the video for you to understand what he answered. And it is crazy what he answered. It is crazy. Let me,
La idea, siempre entrar adentro.
Bueno, la verdad, que sea lo que Dios quiera. Si Él quiere eso, que sea lo posible. Pero nadie le va a quitar la potestad a Dios de uno poder pasar a los Estados Unidos.
Nobody's going to take us away the right. Nobody's going to take our nobody has the right to take away our possibilities to cross to the United States. This is the crazy thing about it. This is the crazy thing about it. That nobody is going to take away my right to cross to the United States of America. Nobody's taking away your right. They're just telling you this is the pathway. Now you got to do it like this. Now, what he says later on, it is aggravating because I'm asking him, Donald Trump it's going to remove the CBP1 app. What are you going to do? And this is what he answers and what he will say to him if he one day encounters him. This is aggravating. Look what he says later on.
Uno quiere un futuro para nuestros hijos y nuestras familias.
You know, we want a future for our families and for our children.
Y vamos para adelante.
There's a really bad comment right here. Ember, I will, that's way out of the line, that comment. So I will remove the comment. We only want a future for our family and our children. That's what he says.
Sea lo que vaya a pasar.
You know, whatever happens, it happens. But we want a future for our families and our children.
Vamos para adelante.
We are moving forward. It doesn't even matter what.
Yo llevo 5 meses y la verdad no pienso en caer, no pienso en...
I've been waiting 5 months, and without a doubt, I am not going to back off. I'm not going to back down.
En regresarme.
And I'm not going to return back.
La verdad quiero llegar y ojalá pudiera verme de frente a frente con esa persona.
And hopefully I will make it to the United States and I can come face to face with Donald Trump and tell him what I think. This is the bad thing about it. This is the aggravating thing about it. The aggravating thing about this, and let me just remove this guy's face. The aggravating thing about this is the response. You cannot be responding like this. The Democrats in the progressive mercenary liberals and the NGOs and all their proxies and the Global Compact on Migration and the number one that polluted this, globalization of open borders has been Antonio Guterres. You guys need to Google that guy of the United Nations. Google Antonio Guterres. This is the number one guy that has polluted this ideology of open borders. This situation, when you normalize this illicit and illegal conduct, you will have a big problem. This is the problem that you have normalized into a way that you say, well, nobody's going to take away my right to go to the United States of America. Nobody's taking away your right, man. There's just a pathway. And then he says, I hope that I can come into the United States and face him face to face and tell him, you're not taking away my right. It's unbelievable because now the attitude is, I'm going to do it whatever the cost and the circumstance, and I don't give a damn whether who it is in front of me or who is not. So this is why I've been telling you guys that a lot of the migrants have taken the decision to say, I'm desperate, I'm going and I'm risking it. And it has a consequence. And the consequence, what is that when they say that, they're using the coyote and they're using the traffickers. So this normalization of a conduct and illegal conduct that the Democrats has implemented and indoctrinated all Latin America, it has a collateral effect on who's taking advantage of it. And who takes advantage of this collateral in illicit conduct? The cartel. Because when you're not following the process, you're going to have a second option. And which is the second option? Well, CBP1 app, but it's taking too long and they're removing it. Well, I'm just going to call the coyote and let them know, hey, you know what, man, I'm here. And please, let me know how much I got to pay you so we can just cross in through the other side of the border. This is the collateral effects that I have told you that is irreparable damage into our culture. You have opened the window to evil, and this evil has brought to you by Barack Obama himself. He's the one that brought the Global Compact on Migration. He's the one that started preaching about open border policies and la this, la that. No regulation whatsoever. In the last days of his massive deportation, now he started admitting again and being part of this globalist agenda that George Soros brought, into the West. Now Alex Soros is the one that is being in charge and is the one that is spreading all this disaster to continue. It is a complete disaster. And meanwhile, I'm asking you this. And meanwhile, I'm telling you this. I'm asking you a question. Where is Alejandro Mayorkas? Where is he? Somebody say shalom, shalom. Thank you, shalom, ichuti. Shalom, shalom to you, man. Thank you so much, brother. You know, where is he, Alejandro Mayorkas? And you know, talking to the Israel people, it's going to end. You guys saw and you guys heard what Donald Trump said. Already, Hamas, it is calling it quits. They know with words everything can be resolved, and this guy's not playing around. Donald Trump is not playing around. He said, "If you deliver me these hostages, or something is going to get it's going to get dirty, and you're not going to like it." So it's amazing how things get fixed. Now, returning to the Caravan stuff, how incredible everything changes with just a person coming into government and the perspectives that this person has in exchange and indifference with the other president, that it was soft and it was weak, and it was possibly one of the worst presidents in the American history, that is Joe Biden, next to Barack Obama, that I believe that is one of the worst presidents. Also, I think that he's the worst president ever. But these two, you know, being kind of like on top of the worst presidents ever in history. But knowing that another one just came in and they're like, man, now I just came in. Watch out. This guy doesn't play around. And things started happening. You know what Zelensky did? Zelensky, it is I believe, to the Democratic Party, the biggest backstabber in history of the Democratic Party. And why am I saying this? Because Zelensky immediately, he jumped on the Trump wagon and congratulated the new 47th president of the United States of America. Why? You guys know why. He did not wait to say, oh, you know what? We still have one state. We still have two states to count. He did not wait to just say, oh, let me hear what Kamala Harris is going to say. No, I'm going to just sit down. I'm going to just sit for a little bit and just wait. No. He immediately spoke and said, you know what? I need to say congratulations to Mr. President. Also, Nicolás Maduro, the dictator from Venezuela, said, oh, you know, in the past we had a bad moment with Donald Trump, but now we're going to try to have a good moment. He's scared. Nicolás Maduro is scared because they know that Donald Trump was the only one that went after Nicolás Maduro to remove this dictator and to put law and order over there. Inevitably, to bring the sovereignty back to the Venezuelan people. You will not have this mass migration. You will make Venezuela great. And it will be one of the most profitable, lucrative countries in the world. Venezuela is extremely rich country, but it's dominated in under, it's hijacked by some communist dictators. All of them, they need to be in prison for treason against their own people. Immediately, the change that drastically happens when Donald Trump has become president, it's inevitable. It has a collateral effect and an effect that is just undeniably surprising. But now turning into immigration, what is going to happen in the next couple of months, people? My prediction is the massive flow, it is going to increase like you have never seen it. And after these couple of months before January 20th, then the war starts. And I'm saying literally, quote unquote, a information warfare, you can say, or activists protesting in the borders and basically trying to make everybody concede to what they're saying, using Mexicans, using our country for their protests. And it's going to get bad because they're going to massively be attacking the United States borders, as same attacking as protesting, shutting down ports of entry, shutting down pedestrian ports of entry, creating little groups so they can go and agitate, and, you know, all this kind of stuff. It's unbelievable. Incredible. And this is what I believe. This is what I believe. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Boys News. We are going on 45 minutes going in. We have almost 1,000 people. We got 1,000 people on the live feed. Yesterday, we had almost 3,500 people on the live feed. Now we have 1,000 people. Buy me a coffee. It is right there pinned in the chat. People that want to contribute to my independent reporting and travel fund, I would love for you to contribute people, for me to go and get better. Gotten sick right now on this Caravan, and for me to return back home. I would greatly appreciate that. I will read your comments. I will read a question. If you guys want to ask me a question, I'll read it. I was just with Steve Bannon, in the war room. I was just with Steve Bannon in the war room. We talked, and also Natalie Winters. We talk about this and the collateral effect that this is having. And I mentioned again the global compact on migration, and I mentioned it consistently because Donald Trump understood the global compact, and I think that the greatest speech that he ever did was in front of the United Nations. That for me was the greatest speech. Forget about all the rallies and all this kind of stuff. For me, when he stood in front of all these globalists and he said to them, "I am not aligning with your globalist agenda," that is when I was like, "Oh my God, man, this guy has some cojones." Let me ask a question right here. Let me answer some questions. Oscar, how far away are the people away from the border? Oh, they're all the way to the south of the country of Mexico. So it's going to take them, if they arrive, it's going to take them like possibly 15 to 20 days. Let me just go and read your comments. Oscar Blue Ramirez, do you have any PayPal account? If yes, what is your PayPal email address? No, my PayPal was taken down by the progressive liberals. They completely shut it down. Also, at that particular time, GoFundMe was taken down by liberals. So I only have this Buy Me a Coffee app. Oscar, are you an American citizen? You live in the U.S. For a while. No, I'm not a U.S. citizen. I'm a Mexican citizen. Oscar, do you think some are going back? Yes, a lot of people I have heard that they are returning back, that they're not going to wait. And if there's no possibility, this is going to decrease also for a lot of people to enter. Questions? Does Mr. Trump have to wait in order to get those people to stop coming? He's not the president yet. He's an elected president. He takes power until January 20th. You're an American. You're supposed to know that. That's a kind response. I'm being kind. Viva los mestizos. No, la verdad no. Yo no estoy de acuerdo con la conquista de los españoles sobre nuestra nación de México. Creo que fue un abuso. Dicen, trajimos los hospitales. Sí, trajeron los hospitales para curar sus propias pestes y sus propias enfermedades. Yo tengo mi perspectiva de esa conquista y como mexicano yo defiendo mi perspectiva. I will read some questions also. Oscar, through Steve Bannon, could you ask Elon Musk to become one of your sponsors? If that would happen, I will not. God will provide. Jesus, our Lord Jesus Christ, will provide. He's watching us work, and he knows that everything in timing, and he has a plan for us. So God's plan is our mission. No voy a entrar en detalles. La verdad no voy a entrar en detalles. No tenemos nada que agradecerle a España y por la conquista. Gracias. España vino a conquistarnos. Pobres, no tenían dinero. Por eso tuvieron que salir a conquistar y no solamente a conquistar, a saquear toda Latinoamérica. y no tenemos nada que agradecerles ni tampoco. Yo no necesito pedirles que me den una disculpa o que se disculpen conmigo. Claro que no, yo no soy del clown Claudia Sheinbaum para nada, pero nosotros no tenemos nada que agradecerles para nada. Nos saquearon, nos quitaron todo. O sea, quítense esa idea de la cabeza. Question, the comments are moving real fast. Question, what will happen to the kids and babies, Oscar? Well, they're with their parents. A lot of them, they're unaccompanied minors. And when I say unaccompanied minors, they're 14, 15, 16, 17 years old. You will see some every average, child, arriving to the northern borders into the United States of America. But those are the childs that they have been trafficked from Guatemala, some of them from Mexico. And these people have been using them to make fake families and ultimately to sex trade and all this kind of stuff. You will see some, a lot of them arriving, but you have a lot of unaccompanied minors also, that you consider young guys. What will happen to them? Just hopefully, as I just told you, you have to get out of the global compact, prosecute all these NGOs, and when you audit them, you will audit and you will see and you will know where every dollar went and where every child went. Can you speak on the relationship with the new president of Mexico and Trump? What's your opinion if you haven't touched on this yet? I cannot speak on it because there hasn't been a meeting or a reunion. The only thing that the Mexican president is asking to the new president is to respect Mexico and to respect their sovereignty. And that is about it. But I haven't seen nothing that it has come to close to an agreement or some kind of dialogue. There hasn't been a dialogue. There's just been a response by Donald Trump saying, if you don't control the flow, I will tariff you. If you don't control the flow of illegal, immigration and also the massive amount of fentanyl that is coming to our country, I will tariff you 25% on everything that you're sending. So that is one thing that is undeniably effective. But, the Mexican president has said we're not going to submit to every petition that you make. We need to be respecting ourselves. We need to unite ourselves and work together. So it's kind of like a dialogue that goes both ways. So I don't have an opinion on it yet because I haven't seen a dialogue between both of them. The only thing is their opinions are different. Oscar, were you relieved when you found out Trump won? And a lot of issues, yes. Yes, this is crimes against humanity, which is happening over here. Everything that we have seen is undeniably, we have a PTSD that it's never going to go away. I never talk about it because I have seen so many bad things. We have seen so many bad things, so many people losing their lives, so many decomposed bodies, so many migrants losing their lives, so much suffering, so much torture, so much abuse. We have been in multiple places where we can easily have gotten killed. Progressive mercenary activist writers in the United States trying to get me killed, calling me a CIA informant to get me killed in Mexico, being persecuted by these people. I've been to places where open border gaps and we got threatened and shot off. It's the PTSD is never going to go away. We have to deal with it, acknowledge the pain, digest the pain, and then release the pain. That is our job. So we have to be strong in mind, always, remain calm. But ultimately, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, it's hard. That's the only thing that I can say. But I was extremely relieved. Yes, I was extremely relieved. I was like, my God, this is going to end now. This torture is going to end. What is your opinion on the Stay in Mexico policy of Trump? I don't like to talk about policies. The only thing that I will love to talk about is the threat of a tariff, which I believe that it was a great strategy. Does it bother you to sleep at night when you couldn't do anything to help? I try to do the best that I can to help, whether that is not our job. Our job is to be in the jungle and those 4 times and to document. But I started doing it out of the heart that I have, not because it was my obligation, or I'm a rescue, or I'm a paramedic. I'm a journalist, so I shouldn't be doing that, but I did it because of my instinct of being a human being, and I'm a follower of Jesus. Of course, it's really difficult to follow Jesus' footsteps, but the thing that I have learned about the most beautiful man that ever walked this planet, that is Jesus Christ, is to be humble with each other. So I try to be as humble as I can to help the other man or other woman or other child that is being in suffering. And yes, I had a really bad 2 weeks when I came back from the third trip from the Darien Gap. I couldn't sleep for like 2 weeks. I was locked up in my house. I didn't want to leave. So I had to go and see a priest and talk to him, and release everything that I had. And we prayed so much that it, slowly by slowly, it started going away. Question: do you want to be a USA citizen? What an uncomfortable question. I'm a Mexican citizen and I'm proud to be one. But I would like to go back home. That's basically resembles my answer. And when I was young, I wanted to be a Marine. So committed one mistake, and because of that mistake, I never gotten the opportunity to show my potential. But possibly one day. You never know. Only God knows. Questions? We're going on 57 minutes. Buy me a coffee is right there. Pin in the chat. I would like to say thank you to all the people that have been donating the coffee. That's just, it's great, and I would like to say thank you. We gotten sick in this trip, and all the donations are going for me to buy some medication, get some food, and get my travel pass to go back. I would like to say thank you to Given Eternity. Thank you so much. God bless your dear heart. Thank you so much for that. Diana Ramirez, thank you so much. Diana Ramirez, thank you so much. Selma, thank you so much. Tammy Cooper, thank you. Oh my God, thank you so much. Julie, thank you so much. God bless your dear heart. Willie Dodd, oh my God, thank you. Thank you so much. Judith, Holbrandt, Duffy, oh my God, thank you so much, Judith. Sambik Neal, thank you so much. Also, Cynthia Sutton, thank you so much. And Jills, thank you, and thank you so much. This is the current Buy Me a Coffee that has gotten in. We'll stay here and appreciate more people. If you guys like to contribute, is right now. I will give you a shout out to you. How do you buy a coffee? There's the application pin in the chat. You go in there, you pin it, and then you go in there, and there's quantities of coffees that you want to buy. If you want to buy 70 million coffees, I would not be oppressed by it. Take the liberty to do so. Thank you so much, Indigo. Oh my God, you've been a long follower. Oof, you've been a long time follower. Thank you so much. Thank you. Dao Ali To Soch Sash Podcaster. Oscar Shalom. Do you know what smart means in KGB Proverbs 11:15? No, I don't. If you will educate me, I will love that. I'm humble enough for people to educate me, and I will always learn everything from everybody. Question, just me, Sunshine. How you doing? Will you or have you ever spoke with current, past, or in a future administration what you have experienced in witness solutions? No, I have not. I spoke to a couple of people that they are, they have a lot of connections, but they know my work. They have shared my work to really high top rank people. They have told me about which people they have seen my work, and we're talking about really top names. So I'm glad about that. Hopefully, they will, in a way, use it for for information and for this to make this stop, because this is horrible what is happening, and it's not fun to see this. It's not fun to continue to see this. It is not fun to continue to see abuse, to continue to see traffic children, traffic women, traffic everything. It's sad to see migrants die because of open border policies. I believe that it's time for a humanitarian change and for our people to have a better life in their homes, like Nayib Bukele, what he did with his own country and his own people. So I think that there's always a possibility to get better, but I do not understand why we're taking so long for that. So I think it's time for a change. There's a revolution of a change. Good things are happening. God is coming. God is helping. So Miss Eva, thank you so much for being with me, being so loyal, and being with me all this time, and never abandoning the ship. Thank you so much. Always honest. And whenever you have a problem or you have something to tell me, you're always face to face with me. You don't go behind my back. So I would greatly appreciate that, because it's always the solution is to tell people in front of their face, or tell people, face to face. I have certain details with you. I would like to talk about it. But have you always been honest? So God bless your dear heart. Thank you so much. Couple of minutes and I will go. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Boys News. Buy me a coffee is right there, pin in the chat. Thank you so much for helping. That's a lot of help. So we're trying to do our best, give it our best, and try to do our best in every circumstance and every chance that we get. So thank you so much for everybody that is watching. God bless your dear hearts. How's everybody doing? It is 7:41 in the evening. Go ahead with a comment or a question. I come to you for real info since my dad, a Green Beret, has died from Agent Orange. God bless your dear heart. Live sicklies. God bless you, man. God bless your father also. Got a couple of minutes and we're going. So, if anybody who wants to ask a question, go ahead. Thank you so much, Susan Davis. We love you, Oscar. Thank you so much. God bless you. Shish. Yes. In some places, yes. The distribution is enormous. And the crackdown, the distribution, you have to do massive operations. They're going to have to hire a lot of new agents. The agency is going to be renewed, and they're going to be full with pride and joy. Border Patrol is not going to be able to deal with all the operations that are going to be done under Trump administration. They're going to need more Border Patrol. They're going to need more Customs. They're going to need more ICE agents. They're going to need more DHS. They're going to need more of anything. So it's going to be completely different. Anonymous bought me a coffee. Thank you so much, Anonymous. Thank you so much. Another Anonymous that bought me a coffee. Thank you so much. So I will go. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Boys News. We have been here since I think I just landed on Saturday. I think it was Saturday when I landed over here. Yes, it was Saturday. And we have been here Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6 days already. So hard working 6 days. And we have been doing the best that we can to bring you guys the reality and truth of the news. You can go right now to Real America's Voice News. You can watch me on the Grant Stinchfield and also on the War Room with Mr. Steve Bannon and co-host Natalie Winters. I did a hit with them. If you guys want to go and see me over there, go and watch it. God bless you guys. Stay safe. And like we always say, people, God's plan, it is our mission. Thank you so much. Have a good night.